6 Tips to quickly stop excessive dog barking. Excessive dog barking can be stressful and even annoying, especially if you live in an apartment building or if your neighbors are bothered by it as well. Luckily, there are several effective ways to stop excessive dog barking, ranging from behavioral training to methods of restricting their access to areas in which they typically bark the most. Here are some easy steps that can help put an end to your dog's excessive barking within days and make everyone happier in the process. Number 1. Note the time of day. If your dog barks excessively during the day, it may be because of boredom. If you work a lot, make sure that you give your dog plenty of exercise and attention when you are home. Your dog will be less inclined to bark if it has something else to do. If your dog barks excessively at night, then it is probably because there is some form of danger or the animal has learned that barking will keep them safe. It's best not to punish your dog for excessive nighttime barking since they're likely doing this for a reason. The best way to curb nighttime barking is by removing all possible dangers from the environment, i.e., locking up trash cans, making sure windows are closed, and providing your pet with an appropriate amount of exercise during the day so that he can sleep soundly at night. You might also want to consider whether your pet might be suffering from separation anxiety, which is common in dogs who have been abandoned. If you have tried everything and your dog still barks constantly, take him to see a veterinarian. An animal behaviorist should also be able to provide helpful tips on how to stop excessive barking in dogs. Number 2. Ignore it. The number one thing you can do if you want to stop your dog from barking is to ignore it. The more attention you give the behavior, the worse it will get. When your dog barks, just don't make a sound and walk away. Your dog will quickly realize that he doesn't get any attention for the behavior and stop doing it. You might even find that your dog eventually stops barking altogether. You might also find that this technique only works temporarily because as soon as the novelty of not being heard wears off, so does their interest in not making noise. Another way to use this technique is to distract your dog with a toy or treat whenever he starts barking. It may take some time, but with enough repetition, the behavior should be extinguished. Number 3. Take them for a walk. One of the best ways to stop excessive dog barking is by taking them for a walk. Not only will this help to tire out the dog, but it also gives them a chance to have some exercise and get rid of any pent-up energy. Another great thing about taking your dog for a walk is that you'll be able to interact with other people, which can be fun for both you and your pet. It's also important to make sure they have plenty of water while they're outside so they don't become dehydrated. And if you don't want to take them for an entire walk, then just take them around the block once or twice. Either way, getting them outdoors will help keep their mind off of things that are making them feel anxious or stressed. If there's something specific bothering them, such as construction noise nearby, then take them on walks in different areas until they settle down. Number 4. Give them something to chew on. One of the easiest ways to stop excessive dog barking is by giving them something to chew on. The hard rubber or nylon chew toys are good options and can help satisfy their natural instinct to gnaw. If you have a chew toy, it may not be wise to leave it unattended with your pet. Doing so could result in an accidental ingestion if they find it. Find out what's causing them to bark. Sometimes dogs bark for no reason at all, but there are also instances where there is some sort of stimulus causing them to bark. Find out what's causing your pet to behave this way and then determine whether the behavior should continue or if it needs to be stopped. Number 5. Doggy benches. Doggy benches are a great way to stop dog barking, as the bench prevents them from being able to get up and move around. The bench is specifically designed for dogs that like to do a lot of jumping, and it can be used in a variety of different ways. It can be used in the house or backyard, on a balcony, or even on your porch. We recommend using it at night when you're sleeping so that the dog doesn't bother you with all its barking. All you need to do is lock your dog into the open end of the bench. The closed end has an area where they can still see out, and this will help keep them calm while they bark away. If they try to climb over the top, then the material on top of the bench should hold them back, meaning they'll stay inside and bark until their little heart's content. You might have to train your dog a little bit before letting him use this, but overall it should work well. Number 6. Severe cases, separation anxiety. If your dog is suffering from a severe case of separation anxiety, you may need to consider building an indoor kennel where your dog can go when left alone. This will allow them the security of being in a familiar place, which should help stop excessive barking. If the problem persists, you may also want to consult with a veterinarian or animal behaviorist for additional advice on how to stop excessive dog barking. With some effort and patience, you can find ways to control your dog's natural instinct to bark without jeopardizing their health and happiness. One option is to teach your pet new commands that will replace undesirable behaviors, such as quiet or shoo. Some owners prefer a no-bark collar, which emits sound waves if it detects barking. Others use the timeout method by keeping the dog in isolation for a few minutes after they've made noise. There are many more methods available depending on what kind of approach you take. All it takes is just a little research.